Are you authentic? How authentic are you? Are you 100% authentic? Are you 87% authentic? Right? How authentic are you? How do you even know? How do you even know whether or not you're authentic? Are you self-aware enough to even identify whether or not you're authentic? How does authenticity impact our performance, impact our decision-making process, impact our leadership, our business, our influence? What does it matter? Well, in my opinion, authenticity is tremendous. And I believe God absolutely desires us to be authentic, to know who He's truly made us to be, so that we can operate out of that place and not be operating out of an injury, an emotional injury, a spiritual injury, but really operating from our true self. Welcome to the EQ for Entrepreneurs podcast. Like most business owners, you already know you need good business and marketing strategies to scale and be profitable. But at some point, you've hit the dreaded wall where you feel stuck and frustrated. EQ for Entrepreneurs is for business owners and leaders who are honest enough to admit that they just might be the ones holding their business back and are brave enough to change that.
We're Noble and Kathy, and every week we're having candid conversations about all things emotional intelligence and how growing that has allowed us to get out of our own way and is radically transforming both our businesses and our personal lives. This is the secret sauce strategy for modern entrepreneurs who are tired of hustling without seeing results and want to grow a business and a life that they love.
What is going on, entrepreneurs, leaders, and influencers? It's Noble. Super excited to share with you this topic here on authenticity and what does your decision-making process reveal about you. And I'm even going to cover 8 questions to help determine and assess what your decision-making process says about you and how that connects to your authenticity. All right, so I was watching a panel the other night on these comedians, these super successful comedians. One of the guys was Jim Carrey. He said, the host asked a question, have you ever been disappointed in your performance? And Jim Carrey's response I thought was really fascinating. He said, the only time I have been disappointed with myself is when I have not been authentic. So if I have been inauthentic in my performance, I do not like that performance. Now, is that a biblical analysis of, no, of course not. So that was his perspective, but it made me think about the importance of authenticity. As an entrepreneur, as a leader, as an influencer, it is so critically important. I've got my notes here and I'm gonna read through some things. So, are you authentic? Are you authentic? How authentic are you? Are you 100% authentic? Are you 87% authentic? Right? How authentic are you? How do you even know? How do you even know whether or not you're authentic? Are you self-aware enough to even identify whether or not you're authentic? So let me give you an example. I would have said just a handful of years ago, oh man, I'm totally authentic. Man, I'm so authentic. It's ridiculous, right? As a leader, as an influencer, as an entrepreneur, man, I'm totally authentic. But here's the deal. I didn't realize how inauthentic I was because all my decisions were fundamentally based on and subconsciously based on my insecurities, my feelings of unworthiness, my people pleasing, my desire to get a good performance rating, whether that was in the military with my OER, my officer evaluation report, whether that was in corporate America on my scorecard, whatever the case may be, those things were ultimately driving my decision-making process. Well, how authentic am I? How authentic can I be as a leader, as an influencer, when those are driving the true drivers of my decision-making process? Here's another great question. Does God desire authenticity for us? Does he want us to be authentic? And what does it matter? What does authenticity even matter? How does authenticity impact our performance, impact our decision-making process, impact our leadership, our business, our influence? What does it matter? Well, in my opinion, authenticity is tremendous. And I believe God absolutely desires us to be authentic, to know who he's truly made us to be, so that we can operate out of that place and not be operating out of an injury, an emotional injury, a spiritual injury, but really operating from our true self. So a couple things here. How can you genuinely discover who you are and who God created you to be? How do you make decisions? What are your real core values? And what is currently driving your decision-making process? What are you hiding from God? Right? Of course, we can't hide anything from God, but we think, okay, well, I don't want to show God this, I don't want to show God that. He already knows the deal, right? But here's the deal. One of my things is to help begin to discover and become authentic as an entrepreneur, leader, and influencer is understand your decision-making process. Do a decision-making process analysis. I've got 8 questions here to assess, to do a decision-making process analysis to help with becoming more authentic. So question number 1 in the decision-making process analysis, and I call it a DMP, decision-making process. So number 1, what decisions have you made recently? So if you do an inventory, you can do 30 days, you can do the last week even, and just some of the big decisions, maybe not obviously the little mini decisions, but some of the bigger decisions that you made in the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. What are some of the big decisions that you've made? Number 1. Number 2, now do an analysis. Why did you make those decisions? Why did you make those decisions? Number 3, did someone else want you to make those decisions? Did someone else want you to make those decisions? That's number 3. Number 4, did you truly have the freedom to make the decisions that you made? Or again, was there something else that was deep down driving that decision, i.e. insecurity, people pleasing, some sort of pain or emotional injury? Or did you truly have the freedom? Right? Because if you're in bondage, like me, I'm a recovering people pleaser addict. Did I have the freedom to make some of those decisions? No, because I was in bondage to my people pleasing addiction. I didn't have the freedom to make some of those decisions that I made in my past 20 years as a quote unquote leader or an influencer. So number 4, did I truly have the freedom to make those decisions? Number 5, what values drove those decisions? What core values drove those decisions? And again, the goal is to be objective, not subjective. So part of this journey is being brutally honest with yourself and really try to be as objective as possible, which again is tough when you're evaluating yourself. It's almost like a conflict of interest, right? But as an entrepreneur, leader, and influencer, you really want to grow in your ability to be objective and be truthful with yourself. So number 5, what values drove your decisions? Number 6, did the outcomes and the manner that you achieved those outcomes accurately reflect your true core values? So let me hit that one again. Did the outcomes of your decisions and the manner with which you achieved those outcomes accurately reflect your true core values? And here's a kind of it's not the next question, but it's kind of a 6A. So that was question 6. Question 6. This is question 6A. Would those closest to you agree with your above statement that the outcomes that you achieved and the manner with which you achieved them actually lined up with your core values? Right? Because some people in your circle may say, dude, okay, you accomplished the mission, but how you accomplished the mission did not align with your true core values, or they did not align with the core values that you say you have. Let me put it that way. So that's kind of 6A. Number 7, what do those decisions that you've made in that analysis, again, that you've got kind of pulled up there, what do those decisions reveal about you? What do they reveal about your motives? What do they reveal about your values? Because what I've noticed in talking with a lot of other entrepreneurs and leaders and influencers, a lot of times their spoken core values are different than their actual core values. We may say, oh man, God, my faith is a core value. My family is a core value. But then when you do a time budget and a financial budget, God is like, God gets 15 minutes here. The family gets 20 minutes here. So you say that your faith and your family is important to you, but when you put them in the back of your priority bus, are they really your core value? Is that really what's driving your decision-making process, right? So that's number 7. What do those decisions reveal about you, your motives, and your values? Number 8, is there an underlying pain or hurt behind any of those recent decisions that you've made? Is there any pain or hurt that may be causing or some of the driver for some of the decisions that you've made? So here's my thoughts on that. So that's my quick 8-question little decision-making analysis to analyze your decision-making process with the goal or hopes to better understand yourself so that you can become more authentic as an entrepreneur, leader, and influencer. So because ultimately, here's the deal. God wants us to be authentic. He wants us to truly understand how He's made us and why He's made us. And part of that process, there's a great, chapter in the Bible, Romans 12:1 and 2. Romans 12:1 and 2, that talks about renewing our minds. Well, I feel like doing some of this emotional work, some of this thinking work, this introspection, this reflection is part of renewing our minds to become the best version that God's called us to become. Here's the deal. We absolutely love joining you on your journey of emotional growth and healing and health and fitness to be the best entrepreneur, leader, and influencer that you can possibly be. And remember a couple points here. This journey is a process, not an event. Hurting people hurt people. Healed people help people heal. If you got value in this, please comment. I'd love to hear a point that resonated with you. Like, subscribe, review. If you're listening to this on the EQ for Entrepreneurs podcast, please review, put a comment in there with how you're growing and where you're at in your emotional growth journey. God bless you all. Have an awesome day.